In the sun-scorched scrublands and temperate grasslands, a species has evolved not just for survival, but for pure athletic excellence. This is the fire-footed rabbit, the diminutive scorbunny. Scorbunny's unique trait lies in its hyperactive metabolism. Its core body temperature is naturally elevated, requiring constant, frantic motion just to regulate the internal heat. It must run to survive. The friction from its high-speed sprints generates a localized electrostatic charge. Its greatest threat is not a predator, but stillness. The moment it stops, the heat begins to build, and the energetic scorbunny must quickly find a source of relief. The Shinx, a persistent opportunist, targets the scorbunny's exhaustion, forcing it into a critical burst of speed. As the scorbunny matures, its focus narrows. It sheds its frantic energy for disciplined control, evolving into the adolescent Raboot. Raboot adopts a lifestyle of focused movement. Its fur has coarsened into an insulative protective membrane, allowing it to contain and control its thermal energy with minimal effort. It hones its speed not for escape, but for precision striking. The heat is now channeled into a single, devastating impact, known as the sizzling kick. The final stage of development is the pinnacle of this unique biology. Through years of intense training, the Raboot is ready for its ultimate transformation. It becomes the ultimate athlete, Cinderace. Cinderace's entire body is a finely tuned machine. It can create and launch balls of superheated plasma by precisely controlling the thermal energy stored in its chest. No longer needing to run from danger, the Cinderace stands tall, a master of ballistics and speed, surveying its territory. A symbol of honed power, awaiting the next challenge. From the black abyss, where light is a myth and pressure reigns supreme, a secret lineage is born. This is an extremely rare juvenile Lugia, often cited as a Silver Stage hatchling. Unlike other Pokémon, this creature is biologically attuned to the deep. Its skin is a unique dermal layer, designed not for camouflage, but for pressure resistance. A living suit of armor against the ocean's crushing weight. The Silver Stage is playful, yet driven by an innate, powerful energy, psychic aura. It uses this subtle force to navigate the lightless trenches and communicate across vast, silent distances. Years pass in the crushing darkness. The juvenile, now larger and stronger, begins to ascend. The pressure change triggers a massive, rapid physiological shift. Evolution. Its musculature expands, its bone density decreases for flight, and its psychic power crystallizes. Emerging from the depths, it is no longer silver. It is Lugia, the guardian of the seas. Lugia's wings are not for simple propulsion. They are hydroacoustic membranes capable of generating powerful sound waves that, when amplified, can stir up 40-day storms. This power is a defense, The massive Gyarados, a territorial apex predator, senses the new arrival. A clash is inevitable. Two titans fighting for domain over the open sea. The Gyarados strikes with a ferocious hyper beam, a discharge of pure, concentrated energy. But Lugia counters, channeling its aura into a powerful aeroblast of wind and light. The battle ends quickly. The Gyarados, recognizing the superior, controlled power of the legend, retreats. Lugia's dominance is established not through brute force, but through mastery of the elements. Now for a glimpse of the rarest of all, the shiny Lugia. This genetic anomaly results in a stunning, pale, pinkish-white hue with deep crimson plates, a striking contrast and a true jewel of the deep. From the depths to the skies, a master of both atmosphere and abyss. Lugia retreats to the churning waves, its legends secured, its power a silent vow to protect the turbulent oceans. Hidden within ancient, overgrown ruins, where electromagnetic energy naturally pools, we find a creature living in a state of perpetual dormancy. This is Abra. It sleeps for 18 hours a day. Its rapidly developing cerebral cortex requires immense metabolic energy. Yet, even asleep, its mind is active. It possesses a reflexive defense mechanism and displaces its physical form to safety. Eventually, the brain reaches a critical mass. The need for sleep diminishes, replaced by an overwhelming surge of psychic output. The Abra evolves into Kadabra. Kadabra is a walking psychic reactor. Its brain now generates alpha waves so intense they induce severe headaches in nearby creatures, creating a natural, invisible defensive perimeter. But this power is chaotic and overwhelming. To manage it, Kadabra must find and psychically forge a focus tool. It is not dining ware, but a naturally conductive mineral deposit shaped into a spoon. This spoon acts as a psychic lightning rod, grounding and channeling its overflowing mental energy. Without it, Kadabra's own power would become unmanageable. When threatened by an aggressor, like this territorial primeape, Kadabra does not use muscles. It relies solely on the amplified power channeled through its spoon. The confrontation is brief. Against pure psychic force, brute strength is meaningless. In rare cases, extreme duress triggers the final stage. The body atrophies further as the brain expands to godlike proportions. It becomes Alakazam, a being of pure intellect floating above the physical world it has transcended. In the forgotten corners of our world, abandoned structures, deep caves, places untouched by sunlight, a different kind of life thrives in the cold. It begins as ghastly, not a spirit, but a coherent entity of ionized gas and toxins held together by a faint electromagnetic field. It drifts like atmospheric plankton, feeding on trace thermal energy. As it consumes enough energy, the gas thickens. It develops appendages detached from its core, manipulated by magnetic tethering. It becomes Haunter. Haunter is an active predator. It is a thermal vampire. If you feel a sudden, intense chill, it is Haunter, standing right next to you, rapidly draining your body heat to fuel its metabolism. Its infamous lick is a delivery system for a potent neurotoxin designed to paralyze prey while it feeds on their fear, which biologically raises the prey's body temperature, making them a hotter meal. But the ultimate stage of this life cycle is the master of ambush. The gas condenses into a semi-solid state of pure darkness. The Gengar. Gengar's skin is a biological marvel, similar to Vantablack material. It absorbs almost all light that hits it, making it not just hidden in a shadow, but becoming the shadow. It is highly intelligent and mischievous. That perpetual grin is evolutionary psychological warfare, designed to unsettle prey before the strike. It doesn't need to pass through walls anymore. It simply slips into the two-dimensional space of the shadows themselves, traversing the world unseen. The apex predator of the dark. A creature evolved not of flesh and blood, but of gas, energy, and the absence of light. In the virgin forests of the Kanto region, a storm is not something to fear. It is a feast. For the Pikachu, lightning is sustenance. They play in the thunder, absorbing pure voltage, living in perfect harmony with the planet's energy. But the human world is hungry. We demand power, endless, cheap, and green. Enter the solution. Why burn coal when biology provides the perfect battery? No longer hunted in the wild, they are now mass-produced. Welcome to the bioenergy farms. 100% organic power, the brochure says. But inside, there is no nature, only silence and the hum of extraction. Millions of creatures born in captivity, confined to glass cells, connected 24 hours a day, drained until they are empty. And the Voltorbs? They are volatile generators. When their biological shell cracks from overcharging, they are simply discarded. Electronic waste. A pile of living rust in the backyard of progress. Every time you turn on a light switch, remember where the spark comes from. The lights are on, but their eyes are gone. In the choked, humid mangroves where water meets the jungle, survival is a silent game. It begins as Froakie, small, vulnerable. It survives only by covering its delicate skin in a shroud of protective sticky bubbles to deter predators. Adolescence is a lesson in agility. As Frogadier, it learns to defy gravity, scaling vertical trees to escape the dangers of the swamp floor. But to become the apex predator, it must master the art of invisibility. The final metamorphosis is Greninja. It is a marvel of biological stealth. Its skin acts like active camouflage, blending seamlessly into the shadows of the canopy. The scarf around its neck is not cloth. It is a highly specialized prehensile tongue, meters long, wrapped for protection and rapid strikes. It moves faster than the human eye can track. By the time you see it, it has already moved. Its signature weapon is terrifyingly elegant. Glands in its palms compress water to extreme pressures, creating spinning discs hardened by surface tension. These water shurikens can slice through solid metal. It is a high-pressure hydraulic cutter, weaponized. It strikes from the blind spot, silent, lethal, and then gone, disappearing in a cloud of mist. Peace in the canopy is an illusion. A rival claims these trees. Sceptile, the forest guardian, fast, lethal, and armed with organic blades sharp enough to shear through ironwood. This is a battle for the apex. The clash is instantaneous. Water meets leaf. But the ninja has one final trick, a biological decoy. By the time Sceptile slices through the illusion, Greninja is already gone. The phantom of the jungle, the assassin of the waterways. In the ruins of the old Silphco sector, where nature has reclaimed the silicon, a unique anomaly manifests. This is Porygon. Unlike organic life, it is comprised of solid-state code. Its geometric low-poly body is a relic of early programming, foraging for residual data packets and leaking electricity from decaying servers. It moves with a staccato rhythm, camouflaging itself by altering its texture to match the environment. But survival requires an update. Upon finding a rare, intact upgrade drive, the code rewrites itself. The sharp angles smooth out, the hardware adapts. It evolves into Porygon 2. Porygon 2 is aerodynamically perfect, designed for space exploration. Its AI is advanced, exhibiting curiosity and learning behaviors absent in its predecessor. However, in this lawless wilderness, unauthorized patches exist. The creature encounters a corrupted, dubious disk. The installation is immediate and violent. The stable code fractures. The smooth body disconnects and contorts. It becomes Porygon Z. This is biology gone wrong. Its movements are erratic, twitching with software bugs. Its head detached from its body, floating in a chaotic magnetic suspension. This instability attracts a rival scavenger, a Rotom, an entity of pure plasma, seeking to inhabit the same digital space. The clash is a spectacle of particle physics, Porygon Z, fueled by its unstable drive, unleashes a tri-attack of raw, glitched energy, overwhelming the Plasma Ghost. Victorious but unstable, the Porygon Z flickers. A tragic masterpiece of artificial evolution, drifting through the physical world, forever searching for a patch that doesn't exist. High above the cloud line, where the air is thin and the silence is absolute, a legend stalks the peaks. This hostile terrain is the nursery for the Riolu. Small, energetic, and surprisingly resilient. Though their eyes are sharp, they rely on a different sense. They're born with a unique sensitivity to the invisible waves of energy that flow through all living things. We call it aura. Biologists call it advanced electromagnetic echolocation. Adolescence is a trial of endurance, forging a bond with their pack or a solitary mentor that triggers their metamorphosis. When the bond matures, the biology shifts. The Riolu evolves, becoming the Lucario, a perfect predator. The sensors on its head double in length. The chest spike acts as a focal point, capable of channeling its own bioenergy into a physical force. It does not need to see you to know where you are. Even hiding behind solid rock is useless. It can feel your heartbeat. It can sense your fear. A territorial Aggron, armored in steel, challenges for the summit. But brute strength is no match for supernatural precision. Lucario moves like liquid. It anticipates the strike before it happens. It is a warrior monk of the animal kingdom. A guardian of the high places, watching, listening, sensing everything. As dawn breaks over the arid savanna scrublands, a small, tenacious shadow emerges. This is Poochyena. Though small, it is driven by an instinctive need to develop its primary weapon. It gnaws on roots, rocks, and bones, a crucial biological process to harden its developing jaw muscles. It is a persistent pursuer, often chasing scents for miles. But alone, it is vulnerable in this harsh landscape. Its survival depends on finding kin. Upon locating an established pack, a profound physiological shift is triggered by the social hierarchy. Maturation accelerates instantly. It evolves into Mightyena. Its physiology changes drastically, developing a thick, dark mane of coarse fur. A dual-purpose adaptation for visual intimidation and defense against rival fangs. Now part of a highly coordinated unit, they cease to act as individuals. They become endurance hunters, wearing down prey through synchronized pursuit. Their target today, a solitary Donphan. Its armored hide is formidable, requiring enormous force to breach. The pack initiates the hunt with a synchronized howl, a sonic weapon designed to induce panic and test the prey's resolve. They encircle the giant, They do not rush heedlessly. They utilize hit-and-run tactics, snapping with bone-crushing force, waiting for an opening in the Donphan's defenses. Outnumbered and overwhelmed by the relentless coordination, the Donphan retreats. The pack has established its dominance. As dusk falls, the pack rests together. Masters of the plains, their true strength lies not just in their jaws, but in their unbreakable social bond. On the open steppes and rolling grassy hills, wildlife thrives under an unrelenting sun. Here, a canine reigns with the ferocity of a tiger. This is the Growlithe. Despite its puppy-like appearance, it is a wild creature, born for pack life and aggressive play. Its striking stripes are not just for camouflage in the tall grass. They're a visual marker of internal temperature, shifting in hue according to its mood and metabolism. Its control over fire is in reality a thermal defense system. When threatened, it expels bursts of superheated breath. Only through unwavering loyalty to its pack, or by defending its territory against an existential threat, can the Growlithe reach maturity. Evolution is a biological explosion. The Growlithe grows in an instant, gaining the muscle mass of a lion and the speed of a cheetah. It becomes Arcanine, the guardian of the flame. Myths call it the legendary Pokémon, not because it is unique, but because its speed and majesty surpass that of any known land creature. It is the embodiment of alpha power. Its mane is an indicator of health. When an Arcanine is at its peak, its fur flows like solid fire. In battle, an Arcanine's roar can paralyze an Ursaring with sheer sonic pressure. From the playful, striped pup to the titan of fire and speed, the nobility of the pack, protected by its alpha. Deep within a sheltered burrow, shielded from the harsh winds of the outside world, a story of infinite potential begins. Blind, fragile, and entirely dependent, this newborn Eevee knows nothing of the choices that lie ahead. In the diverse ecosystems of our world, survival is usually a game of specialization. But there is one creature that defies this rule. Scientists call it unstable DNA. We call it infinite potential. Unlike other species that evolve over millennia, the Eevee can alter its entire biological structure in a single lifetime. It is a traveler by nature. It must be. Observe its physiology. The thick, creamy ruff around its neck is not just for warmth. It is a sensory organ, detecting subtle changes in the environment's energy. When an Eevee encounters an extreme environment, its body reacts violently. Near the coast, its cells may begin to mutate, developing gills and fins to conquer the waves. In the heart of a thunderstorm, static electricity causes its fur to bristle and harden, turning it into a conduit for pure energy. Or, in the depths of a volcanic crater, it acts as a thermal sponge, its internal temperature rising to match the fire itself. It is a creature on the brink of transformation. Every step it takes is a choice. To evolve is to adapt. To survive is to change. The Eevee is not just an animal. It is the very living embodiment of possibility. In a world that demands adaptation, most are born with a destiny. But Eevee is born with a choice. And that makes it the most powerful creature of all. Eevee, the genetic anomaly. In the crushing darkness of the deep ocean trenches, a creature sheds its skin. Again and again. This is Dratini, known as the Mirage Pokémon. It was considered a myth for centuries. It grows constantly, shedding its layers to fuel an uncontrollable life energy. It is shy, elusive, hiding behind waterfalls and in underwater caves, waiting for the moment its body can contain its own power. Then, a transformation of grace. The serpent rises to the surface lakes. It becomes Dragonair. It no longer hides. It commands the atmosphere. The crystalline orbs on its body discharge energy, summoning storms or clearing the skies at will. It is the jewel of the water. But nature has one final, shocking twist. A biological leap that defies logic. After decades of gathering energy, the elegant serpent undergoes a violent, radical metamorphosis. The blue scales turn gold. Limbs burst forth. The serpent vanishes, and a titan is born. Meet Dragonite, the guardian of the sea. It sacrifices its serpentine grace for sheer raw power and the gift of flight. Do not let its bulky frame deceive you. This creature can break the sound barrier, circling the globe in just 16 hours. While formidable, it is known for a rare trait in apex predators: altruism. It flies into hurricanes not to hunt, but to guide lost ships to safety. From a shy myth in the deep, to a weather spirit, to a savior of the skies. The master of the ocean's evolution. For millennia, the Magikarp has been known as the world's weakest Pokémon. Pathetic, slow, an evolutionary dead end. Yet, its very lack of defense is what sealed its fate. In the churning rivers of the Kanto region, they spawn in the millions. Massive schools of defenseless protein. It was only a matter of time before humanity noticed. What it lacks in power, it makes up for in distinct flavor. Traditional Japanese fishing fleets now target them relentlessly. Their vibrant red scales, once a sign of uselessness, are now a beacon for the nets. In the hands of a master Itamae, the preparation is ritual. The thick, bony scales must be removed with surgical precision. Beneath the armor lies flesh of surprising quality, firm, fatty, with a vibrant orange hue. The blade must be razor sharp. One wrong cut ruins the delicate texture. It is sliced paper thin for usuzukuri sashimi, or slow cooked in sweet soy broth until tender. A delicacy once reserved for emperors, now demanded by the world. But this hunger comes at a price. The once endless rivers are falling silent. We are eating them faster than they can splash. The golden age of the Magikarp is over. In the scorched geothermal landscapes surrounding active volcanoes, life finds a way. Here we find a creature born of pure heat, the Vulpix. Its biology is centered around thermal regulation. An internal combustion chamber burns constantly within its small body. To prevent overheating, it must vent excess thermal energy as burning embers from its mouth. It is adorable, but undeniably dangerous. A living furnace hidden beneath soft auburn fur. But this is merely its larval stage. Deep within these volcanic caverns, rare geothermal gems emit unique radiation. When a Vulpix interacts with one, a radical biological metamorphosis is triggered. The single tail splits, multiplying. It becomes Ninetales. This evolution brings terrifying majesty. Its golden fur is incredibly insulative, shimmering with accumulated psychic resonance. Scientists believe each of its 9 tails houses a distinct mystical power, contributing to lifespans that can last vast centuries. Ninetales is intensely territorial, often guarding ancient sacred shrines hidden in the mountains. It does not tolerate intruders. When challenged, perhaps by a roaming Arcanine seeking to claim the volcanic territory, Ninetales rarely resorts to brute force. Instead, it manipulates the spiritual energy around it, conjuring ghostly flames that attack the mind as much as the body. A battle of fire and spirit ensues until the Golden Guardian secures its domain once more. A timeless myth made flesh. High in the jagged obsidian peaks of the volcanic rim, life begins with a spark. This newborn Charmander is vulnerable. His world is ash and stone, but his lifeline burns at the tip of his tail. It is a fragile existence. A heavy rainstorm here isn't just uncomfortable, it is a death sentence. He must seek shelter immediately. Surviving childhood is a feat in itself, but as the internal heat grows, so does the temperament. The innocent spark becomes a blazing fire. Meet the Charmeleon. No longer hiding, he hunts. His claws are razor sharp, capable of shredding through rock and hide alike. He tests his strength against the locals. A Rhyhorn is dangerous, armored prey, but speed and heat are on the lizard side, but the ground is too small for his ambition. When the biological furnace reaches its critical peak, gravity loses its hold. The Charizard. An apex predator of mythical proportions, his wingspan commands the thermal currents, raising him above the mountains he once walked. In the open sky, he has no equal. Even the ancient Aerodactyl gives way to the Fire King. From a flickering ember to an inferno, he is the living breath of the volcano. Charmander story: The Fire King. Deep within the remote, mist-shrouded alpine forests, a young creature begins its life's sole mission. This is Munchlax. Driven by an insatiable, primal hunger, its days are a relentless search for sustenance. Every fallen berry, every sweet root, every honey-filled comb is consumed to fuel a transformation of colossal scale. It is a biological race against time to build the immense energy reserves needed for what scientists call the Great Sleep. After months or even years of constant foraging, a profound change begins. The frantic, nervous energy of the Munchlax ceases. It seeks a secluded clearing, a place of quiet, shielded from the harsh winds, and settles. It will not move again for months, perhaps years. It becomes Snorlax. This is not hibernation as we know it. It is a state of extreme, near total, metabolic suspension. Over the decades, its dormant body becomes a living landmark. Mosses, hardy alpine plants, and even small Pokémon create a micro-ecosystem on its vast back, a symbiotic cloak that insulates and camouflages the gentle giant. Its metabolism slows to an almost imperceptible crawl, surviving entirely on the fat reserves built up during its youth. But this slumber is not permanent. Once every few years, triggered by deep, primal hunger, the mountain awakens. The Snorlax rises, an unstoppable, powerful force of nature, beginning its brief but massive feeding cycle. It will consume hundreds of pounds of food in a single day. A territorial Ursaring attempts a challenge. But for a living mountain, this is not a fight. It is barely an inconvenience. Before finding its resting place once more, returning to its silent vigil. A true master of patience, a living mountain, guarding the secrets of the ancient forest.